Hi, I'm Louis Sabella. I'm the Public Information Manager for the Walton County Board of County Commissioners. I'm being joined today by Karita Smith, who is the Community Outreach Coordinator for the Guardian Ad Litem program. This is a fantastic program here in the area. It helps not just the kids of Walton County, but kids in the kind of surrounding Panhandle area. I'm very excited to be able to talk about these programs today. Karita, thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got with Guardian Ad Litem, and kind of your background, and then we'll talk a little bit about the programs that you guys offer.
Okay, like he said, I am Karita Smith. I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator for the Guardian Ad Litem program for children. We are located in Walton County, but our district runs from the First Circuit, which is Escambia County, all the way to Walton County. So there's two other counties in between there, Okaloosa and Santa Rosa County. So those four counties are being addressed by our program.
Okay.
We are a state organization and we are here to help the children. I got into Guardian Ad Litem actually through CASA. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, so when I came here, I said I gotta still serve. So the first thing I did was turn on my electricity, and then I found the Guardian Ad Litem program.
Okay, great. Well, we're happy to have you here from Nashville. It's a long way, but we have a lot of folks from Nashville down here during our tourist season, so we're familiar with having people from Nashville. This is an exciting program to me as a father. Having my own son, a child of my own as a single dad. Some children aren't as fortunate. They're not able to have people who represent them as children, and that's really kind of what this program is surrounded. It is being able to give representation to these children who need it. Tell us a little bit about the programs. What exactly does Guardian Ad Litem do for these children in our area?
Well, a Guardian Ad Litem is a volunteer child advocate who represents the best interests of a child who's been alleged to have been abused, abandoned, or neglected. Now, these children are part of a court system through no fault of their own. This is different from family court. It's different from juvenile court. This is where the parents have done something, or something has transpired in that life of that parent and that child to cause them to come into dependent care. Dependency is a court of its own. It only deals with parents, families, and children who are in I don't want to say a difficult situation. Something's happened, Department of Children and Families has become involved, then the court system has come involved. So what we do as volunteer child advocates is we make sure that their best interests don't go overlooked.
Okay, so you represent them in court, but you also, I guess, look at the background, and you also build relationships with these children that you represent. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So the cycle of the program is someone comes into dependent care. The court then appoints our program to represent that child.
Okay.
We, as volunteer child advocates, will become, in essence, the conduit between the court and the child. We make sure that they're getting services that they need, different things that they need. One of our volunteers is going to come on and she's going to talk about the need that she had for clothes, and she was able to get that child some clothes. Okay. So things that a child would need that isn't part of the regular everyday existence for that child, we become a part of. And we build a relationship with these children where they tell us the things that they wouldn't tell the teacher, or they wouldn't tell their social worker, they won't tell the caseworker, that they may not even tell the judge unless we are there with them. So we build a relationship like no other, and it, depending upon that child, it can continue on into their early teens and tweens and 30s and 40s.
Yeah, I would say that's one of the fantastic things. I come from a background of volunteering for Big Brothers Big Sisters, where I've lived across the country and done different things, and it's amazing how that little relationship can sometimes start something that's a lifelong relationship. And especially for those children who need it most, it's so fantastic to have this in this area, and to be able to introduce it. I'm sure a lot of people aren't aware of the program. We're constantly, one of the blessings that we have here in Walton County is we really do have a servant community. I feel there's a lot of nonprofits around here. There's a lot of churches that assist. There's a lot of food pantries, those kind of things. But we also have a lot of people that are trying to find that volunteer opportunity that's correct for them. And this is something that they can do, right? This is all volunteer. How does someone go about being a volunteer? Like, what could they expect? If they came and said, look, I want to volunteer, I want to help these kids. What can they expect that process to be like to become a volunteer?
Well, the first thing they would do would be to call me.
Yes, yes.
My number's going to be displayed. They can call me at the office. They can call me on my cell. They can find a tablet like this and have my information on it. That's the first step, is contacting me. And then what I will do is get them through the process. The requirements are not huge. You would think they would be like astronomical,
Right.
But the only hoops that you have to go through, the first one is to have love and desire to help a child. That's the first and foremost thing you have to have. The second thing is we will put you through a level 2 background screen. You can't have anything in your background that has anything to do with any type of abuse, abandonment, or neglect of a child. There are some other legal matters that would have to be looked at. And once you pass that, then I will start you on your way. You will get your training information. You'll fill out a small application. You'll provide us with 3 references. I'll be with you every step of the way. Once we get all of that done, you're ready to go.
Now, we are extremely derelict right now in Walton County with volunteers. You had come to the board meeting a couple weeks ago and talked about the amount of cases that we have and how we are so short on the amount of volunteers. Can you talk a little bit about that? Talk about where we are in Walton County and how crucial the need is for volunteers right now.
Oh, absolutely. The need is beyond crucial. We are not serving the number of children that we need to serve because we just don't have the volunteers. We are having to tell our judge, I'm sorry, Your Honor, we have to get off this case because we need to get on another case. And that's the heartbreaking thing.
Right.
We are suffering with 25 volunteers. I've brought with me today one of the ones I told you on the phone that when I grow up, I want to be her.
Right, right.
She's beyond amazing. We'll take a case if she knows we've got another case in. She'll say, okay, I'll do it. And we need more people like her. The community is larger than what people think it is, and the number of children we have, it's almost catching up with some of our bigger counties, like Okaloosa and Escambia County. We have right now 194 children. Now, on Tuesday, I did an interview with Miss Natalie, and we had 189. So we've gone up in just those 3 days. Imagine when school starts, we're going to go up even further because there's going to be another set of eyes looking at those children, and they're going to come into dependent care, and we're going to have to say, Your Honor, I'm sorry, we don't have the capacity to take that case. So that's why I've been at the commissioners meeting, pounding people, talking to everyone, because we need volunteers in this community.
What I want to get into next is you've brought a guest with you. So we're going to talk to Miss Pat Lee about her kind of process of being a volunteer, why she wanted to do it, and get some of the day-to-day ins and outs. So tell us a little bit about Miss Lee from your standpoint before we bring her in here.
Oh, you see me smiling. Miss Pat. I affectionately call her Cat Lady. She's a beast. She is a beast for our children. If I had to picture an advocate all around, it would be her. She fights tooth and nail for what her children need. They don't want for anything. She will search wherever she needs to get them what they need, whether it's education, family visitation, siblings they need to see out of town. Anything that child needs is going to help them to grow, to be happy and healthy, and have some normalcy. She's going to put her teeth right into it.
Well, I have with me now Miss Pat Lee. Miss Pat Lee is a Georgia native from the Atlanta area, which is close to my heart, being from Georgia, and she's a Bulldog fan, which was even better. She moved down to this area in 2001, and I understand you've been volunteering with the Guardian ad Litem for 16 years. Thank you very much for that service that you give to the kids here. I want to talk a little bit about, the process and what happens, but first I want to talk about you. What made you look at this program and say, you know what, this is something I need to do?
Well, right after college, I was teaching. I was teaching English in a college prep military school in Georgia. And I decided I wanted to get a master's degree, and so I moved to Atlanta from there and went to Georgia State University at night. I had to support myself during the daytime, and I got my master's degree. And I discovered social work while I was there. I was not teaching in Atlanta. And I loved it, just loved it. And so I worked there for about 10 years. And the question came of, did I want to get married or did I want to stay in Atlanta? And I chose getting married, and my husband was in South Carolina. He's from South Carolina. So I moved there in '73, and I had a yarn shop there for about 5 years. And then DuPont told my husband that we were going to be paying him in Delaware.
Wow.
So we packed up and moved to Delaware, and we stayed there 20 years. And it was a wonderful experience. And I went back to social work there. Had a wonderful job. I did sexual abuse investigations. I worked out of a police detective office. Had all the support in the world I could use. Became very good friends with a lot of detectives. And then in 2001, my husband had a really bad heart attack. He was 54. And DuPont said, you can't come back to work. So we had always planned that we would come down in this area just a few years later. But we just reset our sights and we haven't looked back. And I had worked with CASAs, the Court-Appointed Special Advocates in Atlanta, and really thought it to be a worthwhile program. One of my best friends was a CASA. And when I got here, I was missing those kids. And an acquaintance said, you need to get into the Guardian Ad Litem program. Tell me about it. I didn't know anything about the Guardian Ad Litem. Discovered that they're in close alliance with the CASA program. The rest is history.
I'll tell you what, we're lucky to have you in this area,
I
even
feel
if
like
you
I'm the lucky one.
even if you unfortunately had to come down a few years earlier than you wanted to.
It's been a
We're
wonderful
certainly glad you're here.
experience.
So, I mean, your background is perfect then, all the advocacy that you did through your other work, and thank you for that service and teaching and social work. I think a lot of time that goes unnoticed in the public because we don't see what goes on behind the scenes, which is kind of what I'm interested about this is the behind the scenes. You obviously have the passion, you have the background that came in. You don't obviously need that background to volunteer, but once you volunteer, tell us a little bit about the background. Like what does Miss Pat do on a day-to-day or a week-to-week or a month-to-month basis working with these children?
Well, I keep a calendar. I have to just live by a calendar. And I can juggle things as I need to. I have to multitask a lot. But we get good training. A lot of it's ongoing. We work closely with FFN, Families First Network. We work with the investigators, the CPIs. And we try to fill gaps. Whatever these children need, if they need clothing, if they need school supplies, if they need a uniform for the band, we try to scrape up money. And we do have some monies that are available. We have generous people who donate all the time. But it's kind of hard sometimes when a kid comes in with no clothes and you've got to make all kinds of arrangements to get clothing. Fortunately, we usually have some relatives that have kids that are passing clothes down, so we do pretty well. You just take the kids where you find them. If they are shy and won't come out from under the table, you just talk to them under the table. And I have given the kids my card with my home phone number and my cell number, particularly children who were being placed back in their homes, and I was a little bit nervous about it. Take this card and put it in your book bag. If you need to talk with me, give it to your teacher and ask her to call me and tell me what it is that you need if there's something wrong. Because sometimes they can't talk with their parents or their grandparents or or anybody else. Most of the time, when the children are reunited with their families, things are in pretty good order, and you don't have to worry about that. But there are going to be a few that get by there.
So I think what's interesting about this is, and we'll talk about the court part in a second because that interests me, is this isn't just being an advocate, but this is helping kids reestablish their own lives.
Correct.
This is about their growth, their learning, their ability to succeed later in life, which is, to me, one of the most noble things that we can do as adults or as people, is to help that next generation, especially those who may not be as fortunate as us. Tell us about the court part of it, because I would think that that's probably the part that's gonna, a lot of people say, well, I don't know if I want to go to court, tell us about the actual business side of kind of how you advocate for these children and what you're doing when you have to go to court in these certain situations.
We're very fortunate in Walton County in that our judges like our program. They're on board with it. And part of our job assignment is that when we have reviews in court, we have to write reports, and they go to the judge. And you will see the judge underlines parts that are important. And you'll see it, they're reading those reports. We try to involve the courts as much as we can, but we do have regular reviews. And that, I think that might, as you said, be part of the program that a lot of people don't like. They don't like having to testify. It's not my favorite part. But, sometimes you might know something that nobody else knows. And we have good supervisors that are called CAMs, C-A-M-S, case advocacy managers. They're very supportive of our work. They help us any way they can.
So it's a matter of having the passion, which Ms. Correa said earlier, the drive and determination to want to help these kids, but it's also about being willing to go and put yourself out a little bit, especially when you get into court, which, as I said, is extremely noble. What things do you think have not been mentioned? Like, what things do you want to get out there that maybe volunteers? What pleases you the most? When you go home at night, what do you say? I'm so glad I volunteer here because.
One thing you need to know, it's not a 9 to 5, as Karita said, it's not a 9 to 5, a Monday through Friday job. I make as many visits on the weekend as any other time. Evening visits, whatever. And you just have to know that some people are not going to look forward to you coming to their house. And they're not going to cooperate. That's okay, as long as those children are okay. We don't require them to be cooperative. It's nice if they are.
Right.
Makes it go a lot better.
Yeah, as I said, I appreciate you coming in today. I appreciate everything you do for these children here in Walton County. There's like I said, nothing more important than advocating for our youth to be able to be successful. I do it for my own kid. I'm a coach when I'm out there coaching other kids. I do it for those kids, and I consider every kid to be one of my kids if I have the opportunity to help them. So thank you so much for being part of this, and I'm sure, hopefully, there will be some more volunteers coming in to assist. I want to thank Ms. Pat for coming on. Fantastic representative for Walton County and for the Guardian ad litem. Karita, I want to ask you a couple more questions. Talk to me about partnerships, volunteers, opportunities. Some people may not have time to physically give to be part of the program as a volunteer, but there are other ways that they can help. Maybe through financial donations or businesses. What kind of things can the community do to help that may not be volunteering?
Okay. Well, the community can help in a myriad of ways. They can help us get the word out. They can help us let people know who Guardian ad litem is and what we do. If a business who has people going in and out their doors, if they will allow me to put up something like this, a sign just in the door, and it has all the information that they need so that they can contact us. Businesses, if they want to partner with us, perhaps if they have a billboard up, they can allow us to put our information on it and say that that company, we support the Guardian Ad Litem program, so that it draws that attention to us. And if someone really has the desire but they don't have the time and they just want to say help us out financially, they can donate to our foundation, which is the Northwest Florida Guardian Ad Litem Foundation. They can donate there. They can give money, supplies. We had an organization who they collected school supplies at their church, and they collected book bags, pencil sharpeners, earbuds, all types of things, and just brought all of that stuff to the office. They can help us in that way too. They can think of these children as their own, because although they may not know what child is in foster care, it could be someone that's sitting right next to them.
Yeah, it's very important. I wholeheartedly believe in the mission that you guys have at Guardian Ad Litem. Like I said, I have a background with Big Brothers Big Sisters, those types of things, and this is one of those things where I can't find time, but I've done this in other shows that I've done in other interviews. I will most certainly write a check and donate right now, since I don't have the time with what I'm doing with coaching in my own family and thing in my life, but I will send some money your way. I encourage everybody to participate in some way, whether that's financially, that's time, that's going out and working with our youth, helping them get to a place where they need to be successful in life. I appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you so much for the invite.
The website information is on the screen now. You can go there, you can find out more information, you can download a volunteer package on this website, and you can also make those financial donations. And if you're a business, contact Miss Carita, contact the Guardian Ad Litem. Let us get some brochures, some flyers, some information out, and let's see if we can grow this program in Walton County.